From 2018 through to almost 2024, I've suffered from chronic fatigue syndrome. Now before this, I was a healthy, fit, active individual, but after getting a virus from an indoor water park and subsequently developing chronic fatigue syndrome, I very quickly became almost entirely sedentary, spending at least 95% of every day in my bed. As I reported in my recent video, I've recently had a remission from chronic fatigue syndrome, and I've been back in the gym, pumping iron, lifting hard, and I'm making good progress already. And I'm excited to share all of this progress with you all going forward with my new series, Fitter by the Day, the Redemption Arc. As you might expect, I've lost a lot of muscle mass and strength over that 6-year period of having chronic fatigue syndrome, but I'm excited to earn all of that back and more. This first installment is going to be clips of me lifting in almost all of my gym sessions for the first 2 weeks back training. And so this is essentially going to be a sort of a diary to keep track of all my lifts on all of the major exercises, keep track of where my strength's at, and see it improve over the months. So before we jump into these clips of me back in the gym, I wanted to share with you my goals. Now my goals are mostly strength oriented. I'm focused on these powerlifting numbers. I of course want to get bigger too. Firstly, I'd like to double my bench press strength within 6 months from getting back into lifting. Now I didn't actually get to record my very first session back in the gym, but I did bench press. And I bench pressed 50 kilos for 3 reps. So my goal is 6 months for my first session. I want to bench press 100 kilos for 3 reps. That's 225 pounds or 2 plates for those of you who are American. Now at the beginning of my return to the gym, I was weighing about 59-60 kilos. I don't have a specific weight goal, but of course I'd like to bulk up, get my weight back on track, because I am 185 centimeters, 6'1", so 59-60 kilos is a pretty terrible weight. So I want to be up to at least 70 kilos, ideally around 75, but I'm not going to be too specific with my weight goal. But anyway, that's enough from me, so without further ado, let's get into these clips. So starting things off, I hit some deadlifts for my second workout back. Here you can see I'm doing a hefty 70 kilos for 5 reps. Very lightweight, but don't you worry, we will get that weight up there. And then I moved on to 80. And I have to say 80 kilos was feeling pretty heavy for me. The lower body in general is feeling pretty weak after my time off training. My many years off training, but that's fine. It's good to have room for improvement. The form I was happy with, it felt smooth. And you'll see that it looks like I always kind of power the weight up pretty fast and pretty cleanly. So it kind of has the appearance as though I'm doing it very easy. But, that weight is heavy for me. I never really seem to grind out reps. My final rep is still pretty fast. I'm not sure why that is, but here you see me doing 80 kilos. See the form a bit. Looking reasonable. And then I moved on to some pull-ups because I was just intrigued to see how many pull-ups I could do. And I believe I got 7 or 8, which is actually pretty respectable after that many years inactive. But it's largely owing to the fact that my weight is so low now.
Alright, good evening chaps. It's post-workout meal time. I've just dined on some of the finest pineapple slices to get a bit of glycogen in. And now for the middle course, some nice high quality pork liver. I'll just be chopping this up, frying it in some butter, and then I'll be moving on to dinner, which is more pork soup.
Good fucking morning. It's time for some bench press, goddammit. Hope you enjoyed the Rich Piana theme to kick things off for this bench press workout. This is my 3rd bench press workout back. I had done 2 workouts that I didn't record because I was at a different gym for those, and it was an incredibly small gym and very busy. But I did hit 50 kilos for 3 reps on my first bench press workout back. I don't remember what the other sets were, but we'll see what I can get here with 45. Now, in addition to bench press, for my assistance exercises, I believe this workout I did dips. As you'll see, I think I recorded my first, dip set back in the gym. And I've also been doing incline press on my other workouts. And then I usually move on to some shoulders, some triceps, just a few sets of some basic stuff. But yeah, moving on to 50 here. So this is back to the weights 2 workouts later that I used in my first bench session back. So we'll see the improvements. 3, 4, 5. One more. 6 reps, so already gone from 50 for 3 reps to 50 for 6. That's solid progress, considering that's less than a week later. It's just 2 sessions later. And yeah, dips. I did a few dips. Not loads, but I didn't record any dips after this workout, but I did keep doing them and I was making progress. There, I have a quick meal of some liver. I like to eat organs as a post-workout meal because they're easy to prepare. Just gets you that iron, that vitamin A, that high quality protein. And we are back to some deadlifts. This is 70 kilos once again. As you can see, it's looking lighter than it was the first session with it. I believe I do 9 or 10 reps here, 11 maybe, something like that. Now once again I have, it looks like 75, yeah, this is 75, so just pyramiding up that weight. My deadlift, I have anterior pelvic tilt, so the deadlift was often not feeling too comfortable. I was getting some tightness in my glutes, my hip flexors, but I've been working on that. Things are getting better. And here we have the 80 kilos once again. So again, let's see my progress in real time. That's 5 reps. So, 80 for 3 to 80 for 5, just 1 session difference. It's not bad. It's not bad progress. Of course, I've got to hit those bent over barbell rows. And as you'll see, there are a couple of ladies in the background here. And they did absolutely nothing the entire hour I was there. And they came in after me, so I know that they hadn't just finished their workout. And when I say they did nothing, I don't mean that they were doing ineffective training. I mean they literally just didn't even try and train. They just talked. Quite bizarre. But anyway, if you see, we've got more eggs, more liver. I eat a lot of eggs and I eat a lot of meat. It's mostly my diet at this point. And now we have a nice leg day. Now leg day is my least favourite day, which is pretty typical of course. But I still do it because of course it's incredibly important. Your legs and your glutes specifically are your largest muscles, and so when you train those muscles, it gives your body like a testosterone release. So even if you don't care about your legs, you should still train them to get that testosterone boost that will help you grow your other muscles. Not to mention that they help a lot with deadlifts, which I do care about and I do want to get stronger on. But yeah, I just I think it's again because of my muscle imbalances, my postural issues, like the anterior pelvic tilt, but also I have scoliosis these days, some kind of misalignment where I'm putting a lot more weight on one foot than the other. But it just doesn't feel particularly comfortable to squat. Not in a way that feels like I'm going to get injured, but I just prefer the bench and the deadlift, I suppose. Then I moved on to some Romanian deadlifts. This has been one of my assistance exercises for legs, just to get the hamstrings working. I did decide after a couple of sessions that I wasn't going to bother recording these. I'm just going to stick to recording the main lifts. And maybe I'll check in every so often with the assistance exercises. But I do enjoy Romanian deadlifts. I think they're an underrated exercise.
So I've just finished my post-workout stretching, post-leg day stretching, feeling pretty good. And I've come to a bit of a decision. I've obviously lost a lot of progress, lost a lot of strength and fitness, a lot of muscle mass over the last 5 years, not training and being sick. So, I have decided that I'm gonna get on the juice and, get myself back to where I was a lot quicker. Because as we all know, you can only make the really serious gains when you're juicing. So, yeah, that's the decision I've come to. It's just kind of frustrating not being at the level you once were, and having to start from ground zero. So just to kind of speed up that process a bit, that's essentially why I've decided to start juicing as soon as possible. Cheers.
Ah yes, a most hilarious joke. Anyway, here we have some shark steaks. If you've never had shark steaks, they're a good source of protein, of course, but they're quite difficult to get right with the cooking. So they weren't too enjoyable to eat, but I did eat some shark steaks, and now we have more legs, more squats. I believe this is 40 kilos, hitting some higher reps. High rep squat sets to failure are pretty brutal. In fact, at the time of recording this video, it's actually been a couple of weeks since the end of this first 2 weeks of training. And I actually went a little bit too hard on my first leg session after this video, and I induced my chronic fatigue again because I did high rep squats and leg press till failure. And I just didn't feel well the next day for a few days actually. And then once I recovered, I trained again in the heat. In the afternoon heat, I went for a run, and then that triggered a fever and a cough, which is why my voice is so messed up right now. And so I've actually had about 2 weeks off after this series of sessions that you're seeing in this video. But I'm back to it now. I've hit 3 sessions in a row and I'm feeling good again. Here I'm squatting 50 kilos, which again, it was feeling somewhat heavy. Now my squat max before I stopped training was 130 kilos, so I did get pretty strong on squats before. I don't know if I was always hitting parallel, but I was not bad. But as you can see, I've got a long way to go in terms of getting my strength back. But don't you worry, give me a few weeks and I'll be posting up a 100 kilo squat. Just give me a few weeks. Here we have more Romanians. In addition to the Romanians, I also am doing leg press and calf press and hamstring curls. That's been my leg routine, although I have eased it up a bit since I have not been feeling so great. So today, for example, I actually hit legs, but I just did squats and farmer's walk. Here you can see some more eggs. It's a pretty absurd amount of scrambled eggs to some people, but actually it's oh yeah, and I add some dried fish every now and again, get that crunch, and of course I've got the wild honey. Get that glycogen in the muscles, get the pump nice. And here I'm back to bench press, doing some high rep bench, similar style to the squat workout. I'm hitting the 40 kilos, and you know, it's commonly thought that if you're doing powerlifting style training, which I am, my goal is to get stronger. It's commonly thought that you shouldn't do high reps, and that if you want strength, you just do low reps, heavy weight. But actually, high reps, lower weight is very conducive to strength gain. You know, people think that it just works muscular endurance once you go over a certain rep range, but that's not true. And actually, I've had great results in the past by doing high rep sets, starting with low weight, and then pyramiding my training up week to week, session to session, adding more weight and trying to match the reps I did last week, but with more weight. And sometimes you can even add more reps. That's what I've been doing with my beginner or redemption gains, we'll call them, recently, as you know, I've been adding weight and reps each workout. This workout I kind of peaked it up, started with 40, and now as you can see we're on to 55. So I do think it's important, of course, to do heavyweight low reps too, but you know, I like to get a combination of the two, and we'll see how many reps that I can get of this. This is about maybe 10 days since my first session in the gym, just to give you some context. And as I said, I did 50 kilos for 3 reps my first session, so we'll see how many I do with 55 now. So as you can see, 5 kilos gained, and not to mention, I just done 2 working sets, high reps, pretty much till failure. So, of course I was fatigued, and I could have done more than 3 if I had done that set fresh. Next workout, I went back to back. Didn't deadlift this time. My glutes and lower back were not feeling very good from the excessive amounts of squats and deadlifts I've been doing. I was doing 2 of each per week. So I did a back workout, but without deadlifts. I just did straight to barbell rows, which is one of my favorite exercises actually. It's the bench press for the back essentially. So yeah, I like to do a lot of barbell rows. And at the minute, a big limiting factor is my forearm strength. When you do these sorts of back exercises, they work your forearms and your grip a lot, and they all tend to fatigue first. But I do want to grow my forearms a lot. I think having big forearms is an impressive looking part of a physique. And I also enjoy having strong grip, so this is something I'm going to be working on a lot. As you can see, I'm doing farmer's walk here, an excellent grip exercise. I like to do the farmer's walk with good posture, so I stand upright, I keep my shoulders back, my shoulder blades retracted, and you know that works your traps, your forearms, your grip, your lats, and your legs. So it's a great compound exercise, very functional exercise. And I was doing 20 kilo dumbbells here, so nothing too heavy, but I did a few up and downs of the gym. And then I went on to pull-ups, but as you can imagine, my forearms were pretty fried, so I wasn't really doing the full range of motion, and I was struggling a bit. But anyway, I think I have one more workout after this, so you'll see that as bench press. So as you see, I returned to the 55 kilos. Now let's see what I can manage. 3, 4, 5. One more. 6. So as you can see, this time I did the 55 kilos fresh, and what a difference. 3 more reps. And that means I've gone from benching 50 kilos for 5 reps. And by the end of my first 2 weeks of training, I was up to 55 kilos for 6 reps. Big increase. I was very happy with that. And then I rounded off the workout with some incline bench with 40 kilos and then some assistance exercises. So overall, I'm very happy with my first 2 weeks of training. Very successful. Had a bit of a dip for the 10 days or 2 weeks or so after. As I said, I was having some issues with my health. But I'm back to it now, and I'm almost fully recovered from my cough. So I'll see you in the next episode.